We're not furrowing. We talk about this
furrow.
every time. We're not.
I know, but I feel like
we're not going to furrow. Just
squint.
Don't furrow.
I feel like I need to squint.
Stop it. Prepare the face.
What's the thing?
Welcome back to the Brittney and Brandon Show. This is episode 4. If you have not already subscribed to the Bees Business YouTube channel, please do so. It really helps us out. And if you are enjoying this video or this series, please give this video a like. If you have any special requests of things you'd like us to answer or talk about during our episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Leave that in the comments below. I'll also note that we always share our episodes as premieres, and that means that on the initial night that they go live, which is every Friday night at 8 p.m., during that premiere, the first time it is airing, you are able to chat with us if you hit the live chat button and have a conversation with us in real time if you'd like. That feature is only available during the premiere, so be sure to join us on Fridays at 8 p.m. In today's episode of the Brittney and Brandon Show, we are going to do a quick recap of our week. Heads up, no one was sick, so we are not spending any time on that topic, thank goodness. We will also be talking about a couple of things that I'm feeling really bittersweet about during this stage of life and this particular spring season. And we are going to talk about something that I am calling the Parent Corner or the Parent Outlet. We're not really sure yet. We'll talk more about that. And we're just going to discuss some things really specific to parenthood, and today it's work-life parenthood balance. And some things that we do to try to bring balance to our lives that could be helpful to you. And then we are ending this episode with a fun fact related to bones. So hang out with us for episode 4, and let's get to it. Do you think... Take a vote in the comments. Do you think that Brandon would look good? The little hair tie right there?
I'm not putting a hair tie on good.
Okay, if this video gets... Let's make a challenge.
I'm not putting a hair tie on good.
Yes, if this video gets 100 likes. Yeah? If this video gets 100 likes,
I'm not putting a hair tie on.
Brandon will film one of our future episodes with a hair tie in his beard. Like this.
Pulling.
So like this video if you'd like to see Brandon wearing a hair tie in his beard.
Put that hair tie on the top of my head too. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, for all that hair up there. All right, weekly recap time. We're gonna keep it brief here this week. There was no sickness. Woo! That is cause for celebration and you are not celebrating. Let's try again. You need a countdown? Wait, no, a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
That was really pathetic, but we're glad there was no sickness in the house.
Boom, right.
These are jazz hands. And this is how we celebrate people. I don't remember, but this is how we celebrate people when we have assemblies at school. We do or we shake them like this, or we go like this. And then at the end of the assembly is when we actually clap. Teacher brain's always on. That's what we do.
Some reference to Rent movie.
I don't think it's Rent.
No, but I'm just now remembering that someone referenced the movie Rent.
I really like that movie.
I really dislike it.
Have any of you seen Rent?
It's awful.
If you've seen Rent, please chime in now and side with me and tell Brandon that he's wrong and that Rent is a great movie.
I'm not asking anyone to side with me. If you like musicals, they're great. Otherwise,
Rent is a quality production. Okay, moving on. We've mentioned in a couple of our past episodes, but one thing that we do every week on Thursdays is have a little picnic at Brandon's work. He works all day Thursday and then he has a night class. And the night that he teaches a night class changes each semester, and he doesn't always have a night class, but for this spring semester that he's currently in, Thursday nights are his night class nights. And we like to go and have picnics with him because otherwise the kids say goodbye to him Thursday morning and then wouldn't see him again until Friday morning. And that's if they're up.
Sometimes, we go from Wednesday night to Friday afternoon. noon.
Yeah. We don't typically have to wake our kids up in the morning, which, I don't know, is that normal? Or common, I think I should say, the word
Not
normal.
when you're genetically related to me.
So we do not typically have to wake our children up. We just let them sleep as long as they would like in the mornings. And so sometimes that does mean that they're not awake before Brandon leaves for work. So he could potentially be going from Wednesday night to Friday night without seeing them. So we make time for picnics on Thursday nights, and I get the kids from school. Well, I do. Okay.
You would normally bring them home.
After I collect the children, when my workday is done, one of which is already in the school building that I'm in, and the other two are coming to me from their school on the bus. What is that noise? Hank, get down.
Hank.
Hank is climbing things over there. You see him? Like there-ish? Hank, stop it. So once I have all of the children, we take a quick jaunt home and we let the dogs out, and then we head off to get some food and to visit Brandon's work. And I actually had a really big epiphany this last time that we went and had dinner with him. He got dinner from the cafeteria at the school where he works, and they have some great food from my observations all the times that I've seen food he's gotten or that I've had food from there. I don't know if I said that quite right. Maybe. They seem to have good food. So my epiphany was we could get food right there at his school on Thursday nights instead of typically what we've done is collect food around town from one or possibly two stops, and then we head over to Brandon's work to have a picnic with him. So I think it would afford us more time and probably be less expensive to just have a picnic right there at his school with food from his school. So on our next picnic night, that's going to be our plan. Simple, simplified, and I like simple. So our picnic nights are working out well. It is something we enjoy doing, so that occurred on Thursday this week. And other happenings. On Monday, the career fair occurred at my school, and it was a success from my perspective as a teacher at the school, and I felt like students enjoyed the experience. Brandon enjoyed it, but has some other feelings as well.
I like college students.
He often says to me that he could never teach elementary-aged kids.
They were all well behaved. It's just a very different environment than what I'm used to.
Yeah, they show their enthusiasm in energetic and busy ways. So,
which I should notice because our own child does that. There was a lot more of that.
So Brandon saw the kids in my building in order from youngest to oldest, and for the first two groups of students, he brought the Mach-E Mustang with him, and it was parked outside one of the doors so that the kids could come out and see it, look in it, sit in it, check it out, ask questions about it. And so for the first two groups, he was not sitting in the vehicle and he was standing outside of the vehicle. And maybe you can make a prediction, but a lot of children piled into the driver's seat, and at one point when I was there, I saw 3 children simultaneously sitting in the driver's seat, 2 mashed side by side, and 1 nicely stacked on top of the 2.
I mean,
And
they
they were
all
making
stayed
it work.
sitting. Like they just all wanted to be in the seat.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they were respectful. They didn't have their feet anywhere they shouldn't have it. They were good. They were just a lot of them.
A lot busy, they move fast, they talk fast, and sometimes they have really bizarre questions.
And it didn't take them long to find the sketching option on the screen, or YouTube, or
A couple of games
a
that were
couple
on
games.
it. Children are
Or something else.
They're very technologically savvy.
Yeah, it's just like a tablet. So anyway.
It's massive in this Mach-E. I will, for those of you that are watching this versus listening, I will put a picture on the screen of what that tablet size is inside the vehicle. It's really
it's like
big.
a 15-inch
It's ridiculous to me
Like-
because, you know, there's so much information out there about distracted driving, and then you have this massive screen right there.
Sure. It's like a very large tablet.
It is. It is. It is very large. And things like the drawing option are not enabled while driving. However, there's still a ton of features that you can access even while driving. So it just seems a little counterproductive. I really like the vehicle, and if money were no factor, I wouldn't mind owning one, but it just doesn't seem like it's really working toward that minimizing distracted driving concept. But anyway, this is not a review on the Mach-E. So the kids really enjoyed it. I heard a couple of students that said this is the best day ever as they were walking around the vehicle and coming back inside from visiting the vehicle. So that was neat and fun. So I think that there was lots of good things taken from that. And there were just a lot of other people present at the career fair, and we had a nice variety of professions that were represented, and I really hope we continue to do this. This was our first career fair, and I hope that it will become an annual event, and we will just build upon those that were there this year and add even more professions to the mix. I think it's such a good opportunity for kids, as I've talked about in previous episodes, so we won't go back into that, but I do think it's really important to expose kids to different careers that exist starting at a young age.
I found the best way to describe that was a Tesla, but Ford made it.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows about Teslas. That was the best.
Yeah, everybody knows Tesla.
It's like an electric car, like a Tesla, but Ford made it.
Mm.
Then they're all like, oh.
Makes sense. Also, side note, you, I'm sure, have noticed by now that we are filming in a different location this evening. It was a very nice day here in Maine, and
Hot.
we hit the 80s in April. That does not happen every year, so I am going to boast about that for a moment because it was quite enjoyable.
It was
And
hot.
as a result, it is warm enough out here on our porch. So we're filming out on our porch tonight. I really love this space. It's like a 3 seasons room, and I love the lighting that we have hanging in this space, and I love spending time out here. So I was very excited to change things up, and instead of filming in the dining room, film out here this evening. So that is where we are, and that's why our space looks a little different. In other news, it is now the start of April vacation week for myself and the kids. Brandon has spring break in March versus the 1 week in February and 1 week in April that myself and the kids have in the public school system. So we are very excited for a little break from the routine of the school week, and I'm not really a morning person, so I'm looking forward to a break from rising as early as I do in order to get my workouts in and get to school on time. Barely, but on time.
It's not fair to say you're not really a morning person. You are just not a morning person. You're not.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person. I like to think I am. I like to think I do. It's complicated. It is.
You're not a morning person.
I love sleep. I love to stay up late. I'm a night owl, so I love to stay up late. And that results in me loving to sleep in the morning. However, if I can get myself out of bed, I wake up and get moving pretty quickly. Once I'm out of bed, I'm getting my workout gear on and I'm getting to my workout. It's that process of opening my eyeballs and getting my feet onto the floor and my body out of the bed that is very challenging for me, and I don't enjoy it. So, I make it take a long time. And I wish that I just could stop that, but I've yet to find a great way to. I really just feel like I can't. I don't know. I feel like I can't. I know I shouldn't say can't. I encourage my students to have a growth mindset, so I will try that. I can't yet.
We just took your phone.
Maybe when I'm 35. Maybe when I'm 35.
If you
so anyway,
were lying in bed without your phone, you get up.
No. So, I do really love the sound of the birds chirping in the morning. That is so beautiful to me. I love watching a sunrise if I am already up, but the act of getting up usually takes so long that I don't see a sunrise. And I do get to hear some birds chirping, but not as much as I could. So that was not even on our agenda of things to talk about, so we are moving on from that. So anyway, that's a little recap on our week. And now we're moving on to a couple of things that I feel are bittersweet. And I am convinced that the word bittersweet exists because of motherhood. Parenthood, really. So a couple of things that I am finding bittersweet as of late include, number one, this time of year, and number two, the fact that our youngest child is now 5 years old. And if you're a mother, I'm sure that you understand, or possibly if you're a father too, just based off of this guy, I feel like dads are they're a little less sentimental or emotional about these things typically. And I'm the one that carries the emotions around these events. It's beautiful to watch my children grow.
The emotions.
And they're so heavy. If you could help me carry them, that would be nice.
Just don't have them. They're a lot easier to carry if you don't have them.
You can't just tell someone not to have emotions. That doesn't work.
Anyway.
So, I love watching Colin grow. And all of them, Eli, Charlie, and Colin. Speaking specifically about Colin right now because he's the one that had the most recent birthday. All of the birthdays in our house happen back to back to back, February, March, and April. And it doesn't give me much time to catch my breath. And so my emotions really pile up by the time that we hit Colin's birthday. And him being the youngest, that adds to it. And so I just generally have a lot of feelings related to our kids growing up. I love who they're becoming, and I love watching them make discoveries and really just find themselves. But at the same time, I miss who they were, and I miss where we've been, and I miss what we can't go back to. And so I have all of these feelings, a mixed bag of emotions, excitement, longing for them to be little again, and just a lot of feelings. So Colin's 5, our youngest baby is 5, and our family is growing up. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. The other thing that I'm feeling is bittersweet right now. Around this time of year, when we hit April break, and I don't know if you feel this way with semesters and with college kids, it's probably really different, but when you are a teacher of students that you have for an entire year, and especially when they're younger, like my 4th graders, at this point we're so bonded and we have such a routine in place. We know each other well, we know each other's likes, dislikes, and we just have this good understanding of the little community we've created in our classroom. And I am hit with that realization that I only have a few more weeks with these kids. And I say once a student of mine, always a student of mine. I call them my kids. And I love when students that I've had come back and visit me and spend time with me and share about how their lives are progressing. That's one of my favorite things about this career, but it's bittersweet right now because while I am definitely looking forward to April break and then summer break, at the same time, I know that my time with the group of kids that I have is winding down. And of course I'm excited to welcome a new group of kids, but it feels so foreign. It feels like I have this group and they're mine, and I have to give them away and accept this new group. And because they're new, I don't want that. And I know that I'm going to bond with them and I'm going to love them and I'm not going to want to give them up at this time next year. But it's just that in-between phase where I'm so bonded to the kids that I have. We've spent months together and I'm about to send them off to 5th grade and accept a whole new batch of 4th graders. And I'm going to go back through that process of getting to know them and getting to that point where I feel like we have a great relationship and know a lot about each other, but it takes time to get there. So, I don't know. I'm going into April break with a lot of feelings coming off of my own kids' birthdays, and then just thinking about the fact that my little 4th grade people are way closer to being 5th graders than the 4th graders I welcomed into my classroom in August. Do you have any of those feelings with college kids? I mean, your first group of students is graduating.
It
right?
is weird. Yeah. Yeah, so the first group of kids that I saw coming in are graduating. They're not even, I don't know if I have any from the town we live in, so like I would never expect to see them again, really, after graduation. So it's weird.
Yeah, that's gotta feel weird. That's kind of how I felt when I was a 6th grade teacher, because in the districts, I worked in 2 districts, and in both of the districts that I taught in, 6th grade was the end of elementary school, and then we had 7, 8 as middle, and then 9 through 12 as high school, and I would send my 6th graders off to middle school. They would go to a totally separate building, and I might see them in passing in the community, but I really didn't get to interact with them all that much once they became 7th graders, because we were removed from one another with that separation of buildings, and so it felt like I was really giving them away, and like I just felt like I wasn't going to get to know how their lives progressed, and inevitably I do get to know that, but it just felt different than one of the things that I really love about 4th grade is that I'm handing them off to 5th grade, and they're still right in my school, and I get to see them, and I still have so many of my 5th graders who come back and give me hugs in the morning, and I have this one student that comes back every single morning. She is a 5th grader, but she comes back every single morning and gives me the biggest hug, and oh, I love that. I love that. I'm a hugger, so I love to hug my students. Not everyone is a hugger, and that's okay, but that is one thing that I definitely am, and so that's another thing I love about 4th grade. They need those hugs sometimes, and they'll let you know when they need those hugs.
I don't hug my students. Well, no, I think I might have given one a hug.
Look at that.
But it was more like making a joke of a situation, like, do you need a hug? I said, do you need a hug? And then he hugged me, so I was not at all saying I wanted a hug, but I got a hugger.
That's funny. His students do show that they care about him in various ways. At one point when he was sick and was out of work unexpectedly for a couple of days, he was getting texts from multiple students checking on him, and that was really sweet. And they've done a couple of other little things at different times. They brought him coffees now and again, and just they show that they care in different ways, and I love seeing that. I love to see that as they grow, that empathetic side of them is still there, because empathy is really important. Welcome to this portion of the episode that I am going to call the Parenting Corner. I don't know if I'll continue to call it that in future episodes. We'll see if it sticks.
I saw that. I was wondering.
But for today, we're calling it the Parenting Corner. And this is where...
This isn't a corner.
Brandon.
It needs to be a parenting...
Nook? Outlet?
Ooh, outlet.
The Parenting Outlet. Take a vote.
Outlet.
Parenting Corner, Parenting Outlet, offer up
corner.
a different idea. You let us know in the comments.
It's not a corner.
It doesn't literally have to be a corner.
These mothies are...
I know. We're seeing some moths behind us, and it's fun, but it's also a little distracting. So anyway, in the Parenting Corner today, we are talking about balancing life. Balancing parenthood, marriage, all the tasks that come along with...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just... You might need to restart that. I was trying to...
Okay, moving on. Today in the Parenting Corner, we are discussing balancing life. We are discussing balancing it all, just marriage, parenthood, the weekly events, the tasks that need to get done. And as usual, we are not experts on any of this, but we are doing our best. And sometimes I end the day and I'm like, we killed it today. We did a good job. Sometimes I end the week and I'm like, we killed it this week. Does it happen all the time?
I was gonna say that can't happen that often.
Doesn't happen all the time, but there are a few things I feel like we do that could be helpful to others who are trying to gain some amount of work-life parenting balance. So, HelloFresh is one of those things. We don't do it all the time, but I have got to say, when we do HelloFresh, when we do purchase from HelloFresh, it is something that makes life easier for sure. And recently we got a HelloFresh order after not having one for a while. This portion of the video is not sponsored by HelloFresh or anything of that nature. I am just sharing this with you just because we recently purchased it and we had our first meal tonight and it was delicious. So I feel like I should mention it to you. This is what we had this evening. It was called sun-dried tomato spaghetti. Look at that. Delicious. So if you are watching this versus listening to it, then you were able to see this delectable dinner that we had this evening. It had a prep time of 10 minutes and a cook time of 20 minutes. I feel like that was pretty accurate. Do you? I mean, you're the one that actually cooked it.
Yeah, it seems, you know.
We have actually had this meal before from HelloFresh.
What?
And we have. If you go look in the recipe cabinet right now, this exact little card is in there. So, it was delicious, really enjoyed it, and I had one of those come back to HelloFresh coupons and saved a bunch of money, and so that made it worth it, especially when I compared it to actually grocery shopping. We got a really good deal in this first box. We won't continue it forever because inevitably it's not always the most cost-effective option, but it is something that we like to do every now and again, and it makes for great date nights in, which is another thing we've talked about on our channel, just to spend a little more time together. We try to do some date nights in where we get the kids off to bed and then have dinner together. That's not quite how we did it tonight, which is what we had intended, but we ended up eating it the same time as the kids, and it was fine. It worked, but we do like to...
We tried to eat separately, though.
We did. We tried to eat. The kids were outside playing.
We locked the door.
We did not. We do not lock our children out of the house. We don't do that.
We locked the door. Tried to cook it and eat it while they were outside.
The doors weren't locked. They came in.
They still found their way in.
The doors weren't locked. That's how they found their way in.
And
they turned the knob and opened the door. But anyway, they came in. As Brandon was finishing cooking, they started coming inside one by one. So then we got dinner ready for them. We don't typically make the HelloFresh meal for them. We make it for ourselves. We do get the 4 servings.
Like anything.
Exactly. We get the 4 servings portion. This card doesn't say that, but and it makes enough for us to have that night, plus some leftover.
Are the options 2 or 4?
Yeah. Yep, 2 or 4, and we go with the 4 because it makes enough for us to have that night, and then some leftovers. And the kids could try it if they wanted to, but they typically don't want to, so we just make something else for them and have some HelloFresh for ourselves.
Boring things.
They do like a consistent selection of
3
foods.
things.
It's more than 3, but it feels like 3 a lot of days. So anyway, as you pursue a work-life balance, try out HelloFresh or one of the other meal kit options that are out there. There's one called like Green Chef, I think.
There's a plate one.
There is a plate one.
Blue plate?
Blue Apron?
Oh. Is that
every plate and Blue Apron,
yeah.
I think.
I don't know about the other ones because we did the plate one once too, right?
I think we did, and I didn't like that one as much.
No,
but
I don't remember it being like this because you could still like remake the whole recipe with the card. Like it has the recipe on it, so you can buy your own ingredients.
You're saying that's what you could do with HelloFresh, but not with the other one?
It has like the amounts of all the stuff. And then the directions, so you can remake it without necessarily having to buy
from them. It is easy to buy from them because everything comes pre-portioned and packaged, so you're not having to measure anything out, but Brandon does make a good point that because it has all the ingredients on the front, you could almost always just make it yourself, and sometimes you couldn't get the exact items, but you could get something pretty similar. So I do keep these recipe cards afterwards so that we could try to make it ourselves. I don't think we ever have, but in my head I continue to think that that's a great idea.
I got a sunburn on my head too. It's another weekly happening.
Oh, going back to the weekly happenings, we've been done with that for a little while. Battery died, now we're back. And now he's remembering that he got a sunburn at the career fair when he neglected to put sunscreen on his head, because when you are a bald dude, that's an important thing to do. Sunscreen the top of your head. And he didn't think to do that, and he was standing outside
for like an hour and a half
during the whole career fair. So he got a toasty coconut.
Toasted coconut.
A toasted coconut, I like it. Moving back on to the parent corner, where we were discussing work-life parenting balance and how we make it happen. And one recommendation that we just finished talking about was HelloFresh or another meal kit option. Those things can save you some time and some money too. If you keep yourself out of the grocery store and keep your kids out of the grocery store, it's probably going to save some time. But some of the other things we do related to food are to-go orders. I very rarely actually grocery shop in a store, and at this point we have like an every other week routine that we've gotten into with shopping at a local big box store like Walmart one week, and then shopping at, local to us, a store called BJ's. It's similar to like a Costco or something if you're in the South. Yeah, it's a wholesale place, so we pay a minimal monthly membership, no, yearly membership, and the savings do seem to be there. It does seem to be worth it, so that is where we go to get bulk items like snacks for the kids and whatnot. And I'm able to do to-go orders at all of the locations where I shop, so that really saves a lot of time and money because I know exactly how much it's going to cost me when I hit that checkout button on my phone where I'm doing my purchasing. So that's another great option to save time, to cut down on unnecessary purchases, items that you just kind of grab when you're in the store, especially if you're shopping when hungry.
Or with kids.
Or with kids who are like, oh, that looks good, let's get it. So there's another recommendation to help with that. Something else we do to try to balance our lives, we divvy up the duties around here amongst all 5 of us. So all 3 kids have weekly chores that they are expected to accomplish. It's not always a perfectly smooth system, and we do have weeks where they really fight us on getting those chores done, but inevitably they get them done. And so as they age, their chores increase in complexity and time requirements, and we don't do an allowance for chores. Instead, we have a gem jar system. There is a video on my channel about that. I will try to remember to link it in the comments or in the description box for you. And I really like the system. They earn gems, and then once they've earned a set amount of gems, they earn $10 to do with as they please. Spend it on a toy, spend it on money, save it so that they can accumulate another $10 and buy something more expensive. They get to make the choice. But then it just gives us the freedom to really tailor earning gems to their specific needs and specific things that they should be working on as individuals, because every kid is so different. So we can tell them at the start of a week, for you, this is going to be your focus, and this is really what Daddy and I are looking for when we are deciding whether you should earn a gem or not. And also things like chores earn gems and that sort of thing. So if you want to check that out, I will link it like I said, and that is what we use in coordination with chores, and the chores that we have the kids do just help to alleviate some of the requirements for Brandon and I when it comes to keeping the house picked up and tidied. The kids put away their own laundry. That's not really a chore, it's just a weekly expectation. When they have a pile of laundry, they are expected to put it away. I have given up the idea of folding items in drawers for the kids, and instead we just have a pants drawer. And wow, I wish I had done this sooner. The kids just open their pants drawer and all their pairs of pants go in there. My one requirement is that the drawer needs to be able to shut. I don't care what your pants look like inside. We do the same with shirts, and very few things get hung in the closets, like sweatshirts and dresses for Charlie, sometimes shirts if they're like dressy or button-down shirts, but minimal items get hung in the closets. The majority of them just go in drawers and no folding is required, which means the kids can feel very satisfied and accomplished that they are able to put their clothes away and meet my requests because they are kid-friendly. So I think I'll leave it there for the parent corner tonight, but there's a couple of recommendations if you're not already trying any of those things. But if you have some other ideas, I would love to hear them in the comments because, like I said, we don't know everything, and we love to hear from you guys because you give us even more ideas of things that we could do and other ways that we can make our own lives simpler. We are a community here and we're all working together. And to end this video, I do have a fun fact. I have a fun fact tonight. Yeah, as we know, I'm not always the one who has a fun fact, but tonight I do. So, tonight my fun fact is about bones, and the reason I ended up choosing this fun fact is because a rather unfortunate thing occurred today at school, and I had my first student who broke a bone while at school. This student had been out at recess and was trying to jump over a cone that was on the playground, didn't quite clear it, got their feet tangled up in the cone, and landed in just a way that their collarbone broke. And I just love all my kids, and so it was hard for me to see him in that state and to see him so worked up. Luckily, his mom was there very soon after it happened to take him to the hospital, where that is when they learned that his collarbone was broken. We had assumed prior to that something pretty serious had happened based on how he was presenting, but that has got bones on my mind. So I'm thankful that he got what he needed quickly, but I hate that that happened, and I was just really hoping that it was going to be a simpler situation and it wasn't going to take him out of his spring sport that he was planning to play. So I feel bad about that too, because I know how much Eli really loves spring sports or all sports, and this student loves sports as well. So as a mom, I really feel for him because I wouldn't want to see Eli not be able to participate in sports. So bones are on my mind. My fun fact about bones is that less than 5% of animal species on Earth are vertebrates.
Less than 5? Oh,
less than 5% are vertebrates.
Well,
all animals on Earth fall into one of two categories, vertebrates or invertebrates. This distinction is based on whether an animal has a spinal column. I don't think I knew that.
What?
That it was specific, like vertebrate and invertebrate is if they have a spinal column. Although all mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, and fish are vertebrates, they're vastly outnumbered by invertebrates, which include worms, sea sponges, arthropods, and jellyfish. In fact, of the estimated 1.37 million surviving species on Earth, only 66,800 have a spine. It turns out that a backbone is a bit of a biological rarity. So we are in the 5% of animals that are vertebrates because we have a spinal column. And
think about like ants. How many ants there are?
Okay, so that will extend the fact a little. The largest invertebrate group by far is that of the Insecta, which includes around 900,000 known living species, about 80% of the species on Earth, and millions more that have not yet been described. Described? I think that should be discovered by science. Some estimates put the number of unnamed insect species as high as 30 million, though it's likely less than that. Insects don't have a spinal column. Instead, they have exoskeletons, which, while lacking a backbone, do have some spine-like features. So, 5%. It's crazy. So that's my fun fact. Yep. And that's going to be the conclusion of episode 4 of the Brittney and Brandon Show. It's kind of crazy that this is the 4th episode already. The big 4, he says. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. If you have made it to this portion of the video, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, leave us a comment down below. We would love to hear from you. We love interacting with our community, so please feel free to chat with us. Let's see. 4th time's the charm. Can Brandon get it? Thank you so much for joining us.
God, wait.
We can't wait to see
No,
you.
wait. It's what doesn't make sense. It's not, again, let me roll it out. The next time. The next time. Oh. The next one. In the next one.
Ah! All right, now let's get that nice and smooth. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you.
In the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
You did it! 4th episode in. They say 3rd time's the charm, but for you,
Brittney,
it's
it
4th
doesn't
time's
make
the
any
charm.
sense what
It
you
does.
say. It doesn't.
How does it not make sense, Brandon?
Who says that?
Can't wait to see you in the next one.
Can't wait to see you. Like, if anyone
I need it to
else
be
in
like...
the world was like, finish the sentence.
Okay,
I can't
but
wait
listen.
to see you.
Listen to the reasoning behind this, and I think you might feel differently. So I need it to be unique. Like, I want the way that I end my videos on my channel. What is happening? I don't feel like you're taking this conversation very seriously.
Who not?
Okay, well, let's see if this will get you to slow down. Yeah, thought so, I need it to be unique and specific to me. I don't want it to just sound the way everyone else would end their videos. I want it to be my
It's just a
signature thing.
sentence. It's not how you end a video. It's just a
It
sentence.
is. It's the last thing I say to my viewers.
I'm leaving.
Can't wait to see you in the
Again.
next one.
Again.
Would you like to make an announcement about your lower half again this evening?
I'm not wearing pants.
He's making a habit of this. I would like you to know that yet again I am fully dressed. In a dress. And he's wearing the same shirt. We did not film this on the same
I don't
night.
shower.
He does too. He showers every night. But
I shower on
He
Friday
just-
nights after we do this.
he just happens to be wearing the same
That
shirt.
makes sense.
Hopefully you can tell that we are not filming just one after another because I should have more color in my face this week because I haven't been sick. No sicknesses.
I am darker than you.
Yes, you always
I
are.
don't tan that well.
I tan well, I just haven't had any time in the sun.
Me either.
You were at the career fair where you got a sunburn
You walk every day outside.
for 15 minutes.
At noon.
For 15 minutes, and we are moving fast.
The sun can keep up with you moving. God. It's not like you're outpacing the sun.
Brandon!
What?
And I just started doing that this week, and I have gotten some color. I've
I
seen
got
it.
that on Monday.
You were consistently outside for an hour and a half.
So 15. So I have 15 more minutes than you.
But when you are outside consecutively,
It wasn't consecutive. I went in and out. It wasn't
Oh.
consecutive.
that doesn't count.
We're up to the
Mine
same
is like
amount
24 hours apart. My walking?
It's irrelevant.
No, it's
We're
not.
talking about time of the week.
No, when your skin is tanning, the longer you stay there, the deeper the tan gets. And so,
You just made that
no,
up.
I didn't.
You just made that up.
I did not make that up.
The longer you're out, like, you're saying, like, 2 hours in the sun. at once.
Bye. We're gonna go now.
Oh, I forgot that was still recording.